Kwik Star. So when you gas up or need a quick snack, use Kwik Star, please. IAMBowling, Brandon Steen, Cherry Lanes is donating the lighting to this tournament, so thank you very much. And IAMBowling Casino is also a major cash sponsor of this event. So, as Jeff said, please patronize them so we can keep this thing going. Also, we have Mike Flanagan this weekend for the live stream, InsideBowling.com. Check it out. Have your friends and family join in, and be sure to like and follow his InsideBowling.com. The GIDA Facebook page will have a link for the scores. There will also be a link on the live stream. So you can follow along with the scores there if you don't see one of our scores. I want to remind everybody that Greater Iowa follows the same rules for clear things as the USBC uses for the Open Championship. So all year long is 78 feet. So no soft anything, no overhead. Wow. I do have interest coming to the office for the 50-50 doubles and team tournament, so anybody that's looking at all those events that wants to get in, if we have interest for them now. We're also taking sign-ups for the Ebonite Fall Classic next month. Each squad is currently full. I do have some spots on here, and 20 spots I've got to see. I think we're sitting around 125 entries right now for that one, and we can get 168 for that. I want to recognize our former champions that are bowling on this squad. On this squad, we have Adam Morse, Andy Mills, and Matt Gavin. They've all been champions. Another reminder, you can get in brackets until the shadow balls. So, like what you see, you want to get in some brackets. And you'll be bowling 6 games today. We've got to the top 48. And top 48 will hold 12 games tomorrow using the world famous Flanagan formula. Last but not least, your skip today. Skip 1, skip 2, and 1, skip 2, skip 1. Make it easy. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get them turned on. Good luck, good scores. Yeah, you can also add service to your ball.
less hole than that puddle. There is. Yeah. That's what I've seen. It's easier to get one. Well, that tells you that you got the rest of whatever house member was out there from the house shots this week. So, interesting. Yeah, we'll see how it develops. So much my theory they'd be tighter today. Well, that's what I thought.
And with that, good morning, everyone.
It's art, not science.
I want to make sure everything's coming through loud and clear here, because it's not for me. I don't know what's going on here.
No doubt. Thank you.
Can everybody hear me okay? You guys probably can, but I can fix whatever I got going on here. I don't know why I can't hear myself out of both ears, but that's okay. That's on me. I'll have to figure that out throughout the weekend here. Well, I'd like to welcome you into the 14th edition of the 11thframe.com Open here at Cherry Lanes in Dubuque, Iowa, inside the Diamond Joe Casino. This event is ran by Joe and Rosie Engelkiss along with Jennifer Wittenberg, and it's a Greater Iowa Bowling Association tournament. It's one of their 3 majors each year. Normally we bring you the Ebonite Winter and Fall Classics, and over the last 3 years we've been able to stream 2 out of the last 3 of the 11thframe.com Open. Many people don't realize that the very first year of this event, which was back in 2012, we actually ran the event. We partnered with Jeff to start this thing. So whenever we come back to stream this event, it's always very sentimental to us. And when we first started InsideBowling.com, Jeff was right on board right away and helped promote our tournament. So we're forever in debt to Jeff for the help that he's had in promoting Inside Bowling and making it what it is today. We'll have him on here in just a few minutes. We are getting started here with the A squad of qualifying. We have 3 squads for you here today. We have A squad this morning at 9 a.m. We have a B squad coming up at 1 p.m. and we have C squad at 5 p.m. 6 games of qualifying on a demanding condition. We'll put that up here in just a few. Tomorrow morning, we invite you to join us at 9 a.m. for an advancers round, which 48 bowlers will return for 12 games using what's called the Flanagan scoring system, which is one that Jeff and I had talked about many years ago. He put it into this tournament, and it's been working ever since. It's where all 48 players will bowl, and the high game, each game will get 48 bonus pins, and the low game will get 1 bonus pin, and so on. And then the stepladder finals will be at 4 p.m. Today's squads will run about 3 to 3.5 hours each. Should run pretty much on time for the most part, although it is more demanding, so we could get a little bit behind throughout the day, but we got plenty of time to get everything in here. As I mentioned, GIBA-bowling.com is where you can find all the information about the great events that they run up here. There are still some openings for the Ebonite Fall Classic. If you'd like to sign up, head over to their website. We'd also like to thank Ebonite for being our tournament sponsor here, our equipment sponsor. For more than a century, Ebonite has been a name bowlers know and trust. From generations of great bowling equipment to today's latest performance technology, Ebonite continues to build equipment designed with one thing in mind, helping bowlers compete and win. Remember, everybody, Ebonite, bowl to win. Also, our friends here at the Diamond Joe Casino. Today's coverage is brought to you in part by Diamond Joe Casino right here in Dubuque, Iowa. When the bowling is over, the fun doesn't have to stop. Diamond Joe features more than 700 slots, table games, and great dining, live entertainment, and even more bowling right here at Cherry Lanes. Winning is just the beginning here at the Diamond Joe. Also, all the lineage this weekend is donated by Cherry Lanes. I want to give a shout out to Bob Hochran, General Manager. And remember, Cherry Lanes is where Dubuque comes to bowl. Also would like to thank our friend Brandon Steen at the Steen team for all that he does. If you're looking to invest in real estate, get a loan done, or look into just owning a home, make sure you check out Brandon Steen and the Steen team. Also have our friends out in Las Vegas, IAMBowling. Ken and Kathy Keegan run IAMBowling. They make and sew and handle everything right here in the United States in Las Vegas. If you'd like to save 25% off over at IAMBowling, you can use coupon code GIBA. Also, our friends up here in the Iowa area, there is Kwik Star and Kwik Trip, starts with a K. Anytime you're around town, you see a Kwik Star, Kwik Trip. Every time you pull in and fill up your gas tank and pick up some snacks, remember you're supporting the Greater Iowa Bowling Association. And last but not least, we want to thank our friends at 11thframe.com. Bowling's digital daily newspaper delivering news, analysis, and opinion. Owned and operated by USBC Hall of Famer and career newspaper reporter and editor Jeff Riggles. We'll have a Google Drive here for you a little bit later with all the standings that you'll be able to take a look at. I'll bookmark that in our chat room. And yeah, so there you have it. We have everything ready to rock and roll. We get started here on lanes 5 and 6, 7 and 8. I got a picture-in-picture built as well with lanes 9, 10, 11, and 12. Looks like on lanes 5 and 6, we have Mike Allen, Brooke Green, Victor Cortez Jr., and Jasmine Snell. Over on lanes 7 and 8, we got Keaton Bieri, Tyler Close, Wyatt Honecker, and Kevin Magnuson. Down on 9 and 10 in your lower picture-in-picture, we got Marcus Borgen, Alec Bowman, Chao Vang, Ader Xiong, and then we've also got on 11 and 12, Thomas Cutforth, Jace Goodell, Josh Kennedy, and J.R. Stubbs. One other note, we do have some past champions on the squad. Joe announced them this morning. I heard Matt Gasson, I heard Andy Mills, and I believe there was one other player, and we'll get to that in a minute, as I bring in the man from 11thframe.com, Mr. Jeff Riggles. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Mike. Great to be here. A little behind on my writing this morning. I got to write a story about the sweeper, and I have to write a story about PWBA Day 1 of the Pepsi Open. Didn't quite get it all done this morning. Had some issues with my work website that I had to help clean up. The Madison.com, my employer, a full-time employer, and wanted to get over here and help Joe get things started and sit in for a little bit and provide some information. I bowled the sweeper last night and have a little info here when we're ready to share.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the pattern here. They use the Brunswick lane machine here. A little bit different graph read there. What did you see from the lanes, and what was the intent behind this year's pattern?
Well, we worked with Nick Hoagland again, USBC's lane pattern designer, probably the most famous lane pattern designer in the world. And I donated money to the Make-A-Wish in Indianapolis with the Hoosier Classic a few years ago. And by donating a certain amount, you got to get Nick's services on designing a pattern. So we used it to design a pattern for this tournament. And the guys the last couple of years have gotten real good at what we were using, and the scores went up the last couple of years, even though it was the same exact pattern. And I got some feedback, always welcome to the feedback from the bowlers, and I pass it on to the Bob Hockgreen here at Cherry Lanes, and to Joe, and then to Nick. And the consensus was pretty clear that they wanted them to be a little harder. So we got with Nick, and this pattern is a derivative of the U.S. Open pattern from this year, the fourth pattern, the one you saw on TV, the one that was used for the advancers round and the match play rounds. It was challenging but playable. Of course, there are no urethane allowed there. So I wanted some experience. I haven't touched the ball since May 2nd when we bowled minors in Reno for the Open Championships, but I decided I wanted to bowl the 5-game sweeper last night just to get a feel for the pattern, and it actually played a little softer than I thought. I was actually plus. Robert Vader ended up winning, and the cash number was 57, if I recall. It was in the 50s. I was 34 for 5 games. Robert was, I think, a couple hundred over. I'm going to get my story written here when I'm done chatting. And the interesting thing was that there was more hook outside than what I figured. I expected there to be a little hold. And what Bob Hockgreen told me is he'd had some leagues this week. He'd put the pattern down early in the week, but then he had a couple leagues where he had to put a house shot out. Double stripped yesterday before the sweeper, put it down. I still think there might have been a little house memory there because they were just a little bit softer than I figured. And he kind of agreed. And his opinion was that they would be a little flatter and a little tighter today with just the normal single strip. And then Eric Littig came by just before we started here after watching practice. And, of course, coach of the national champion St. Ambrose team. Anybody in Iowa certainly knows him, and anybody that follows college bowling knows him. Very knowledgeable guy. And he told me, watching his kids and his young men, he said he thought they were hooking more, which he was surprised also because he thought they would be a little tighter, a little flatter today. So he thought there was less hold, which I guess makes sense if there was any quote-unquote house memory left there. And he thought there was more hook, and that might end up making them a little tougher. Like yesterday when I bowled, if I threw it halfway decent, I could not go high. Pretty much once it broke down. And I bowled with several of his kids. I bowled with Darren Bloomquist, I bowled with Kevin Magnuson, I bowled with Keaton Beery, and I bowled with Lucas Hersrud, if I'm pronouncing that right, pardon me if I'm not.
You are.
Who had 300 the last game to get to 150, and I think he finished second or third. These guys did a real good job creating some hook area for me with sanded balls and mega revs. And Kevin actually bowled good on the left side. He was 80-something over after 3 games and in the top 5 or 6. And then he hit a pair where the one lane would not hook off the left, and then basically shot, I don't know, like 180 that game. And so the last game he tried a couple of different balls, and he ended up, might have got just missed caching, but he was, using it for a learning experience. And he thought the left was okay. And I think the idea with what Nick did with the pattern was to make the right side more difficult, because the left side was already very hard last year. And I don't think the right was as difficult as we expected, but maybe today it is. Looking here, I'm seeing a lot of splits and definitely more hook. Apparently, I think Eric's right. So and again, very hard to get anything close left to right these days. When 85-90% of the traffic is on one side, if the left has too much to start, they're going to run the right over. If their side's hard and the right side's hard, the right side may open up and they'll run the left over. And it really gets complicated on Sunday when you have 12 games. So trying to get anything close, we've had years where lefties just crush this tournament, and they have won 5 times in the 13 years of the tournament. So they've had plenty of opportunities. The last couple, same pattern 3 years running. Cam Crow won 1 year, and then the last couple years, no lefties in the stepladder, if I'm recalling it right. So it's just so hard, and I think that came from the right side being a little smarter, quote unquote. They learned from that first year and had game plans and broke them down a lot better. So trying to give a good synopsis there. I'm going to write a bunch of that when I'm done here with the first few minutes hanging with you, and I hope people get a good feel. We'll see how smart I am based on my perception and what Eric told us, how things turn out. I would predict that if you take 48 guys are going to make it, so if you take 16, 16, 16, it usually doesn't come out that way. Usually C squad ends up getting the fewest people by my memory. And so I think if you see like 18th place or so on A squad and like 35 or so after A and B, somewhere in that range, 32 to 35, I think you'll probably have the number right. So my opinion, if I was in the top 16 for sure on A, I'd feel real confident, and if I was in the top 20, I'd think I had a chance. So of course, generally a tough pattern put down repeatedly over the course of a day and a tournament, they'll get a little bit tighter or a little bit tougher. They'll get a little flatter and get a little more difficult. So we'll just see how that plays out, but that's historically how it's gone.
Well, all I'm seeing right now is on the graph almost 40 mils of oil, which is a ton of oil.
Yes, that's why I said I was really shocked how much hook there was with that much. But it isn't far. Almost all the oil is first 37 feet.
Yeah, which is still,
but it's still a huge amount.
Yeah. And the pattern distance here, where's your distance on this thing?
It's 46, isn't it? But 37, most of the oil, it's 46, yeah.
Yeah, okay, 46 feet.
But almost all the oil is to 37.
Yeah. And then it's 1.25 to 1 on the left, 1.34 to 1 on the right.
Yep. And the trick of this pattern, of course, is it's got one of those speed bumps. Not a big one, but it has a speed bump out there towards the end of the pattern. And the trick on those speed bumps, as Nick has said if you've watched some of the podcasts, is that is supposed to try to force the people to play a little straighter, and you can't quite open the lane up as much. He's been using them at the Open Championships the last couple of years. I think people, the original times that was used, there was a lot of, oh, what are you doing? You can't do that. And I think as people have experienced it and gone to bowl on it, I think they've understood that it isn't something to be utterly terrified of. You can look at the scores at the Open Championships this year and see that it's not necessarily going to mean that they're impossible.
Got a little bit of a wider look with our setup here because we don't have lane talk to use here. So in order to cut in the scoreboards, these are the highest scoreboards that there are in any facility I've ever streamed at. So to be able to fit everything into the picture, I have to go a little bit wider here today. We are streaming in 4K, so that's always a plus. Things seem to be looking pretty good out there from what I can tell. We want to welcome everybody into our chat here today. I see you guys in here. Thanks for being here. Is there a roster of who's bowling? You can go over to giba-bowling.com. There was a roster posted. It's not 100% up to date.
And they have the Google Doc is in the header that Gibba put out, sharing your link to the link to your live stream. And I shared it also to my personal page, but there is a tournament page that it's also on, I believe, for the tournament. But the Greater Iowa Bowling Association Facebook page, it should be up there. But that Google Doc will have all the scores game by game updated, and you can follow them. Actually, I'm stupid. I have pictures from the sweeper. I'm sitting here trying to remember scores, and I have in my phone. Duh. Getting old, the brain fails. There were 57 bowlers. Robert Vader won with, he was 248 over, throwing the combat solid. He bowled at Mount Mercy. He's a Wisconsin kid from central to northern Wisconsin. And he's graduated now. He was 248 over in lead for 5 games, but Lucas Hersrud did end up second. He passed Tyler Close. 156 was second in that sweeper, and so the scores, there were only 7 people 100 over, and 14th out of the 57, that was the last cash, was 54 over. If they would have paid 1 and 3, I would have cashed, Mike. I was 19th at 34.
No kidding.
But that's quite all right. That $50 is kind of insignificant compared to what the Diamond Joe Craps tables did to me last night. Increased my sponsor fee.
All right, that Google, or the event Google Drive is now pinned in the chat room for everybody. Make sure you bookmark that for the weekend. I actually just created a bit.ly link for that of our own here. It's bit.ly/2026 11th frame open results.
And Joe and Rosie and their daughter Jennifer just do a phenomenal job keeping up with the scores, of course, and especially on Sunday. Jennifer created this formula or whatever, and with the Google Doc that they update every game with all those bonus pins all figured out. I mean, it's amazing. That was one of the things when we started using this. I said, how are we ever going to keep up with scores? It'll be 3 games behind before you get it all. And she created this, I guess it's with an Excel spreadsheet. Or
yeah.
It's kind of stuff I write. I don't do technical stuff. That's why I have Brian Burkhart, right?
Yeah. Me
the
too.
Wizard. The Wizard. But you're able to follow along all the scores tomorrow. Usually she's got that updated. The last ball's thrown of a game, and usually it's within 4 frames or so of the next game, and everything, all the standings are all updated with the bonus pins. It's pretty amazing.
Well, I got to tell you, buddy, I was scrambling here today. Wasn't sure I was going to have internet, and always trying to look everything up. With when you don't have lane talk, you got to cut in every scoreboard. They're not even next to each other.
Yes,
so you have to build it all separately and try to get everything my eyes aren't as good as they used to be, and boy.
This is the most confusing place to bowl as a bowler, and this isn't the only place that does this, but let's say we've got 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 in front of us, and you don't see it the way you've got it set up, Mike, but they have their TV screens between like 5 and 6 and between 7 and 8, and more logically, there we go. More logically, you would put the screens between 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and between 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So clearly, a non-bowler arranged those.
Yeah.
Because whenever you're bowling, you're always looking up. Okay, which lane am I on, and which the score? You know, it just drives me nuts. And I've been bowling here since it opened. I think it was December 2008, and bowled many tournaments here over the years, including some of the 11thframe.com Open before I retired myself, and it's just always maddening to look where the scores are.
Yeah, it's very confusing, and then as you can see, that's right up against the ceiling, folks.
Yep.
Those scoreboards are at the ceiling, so that's my wide shot right there. I can't go any lower, and if I zoom in, then I don't get scoreboards. So that's my shot, and then I build it out like that so you can see it better.
Well, we got some big numbers here. Our reigning intercollegiate singles champion has to strike on his fill ball for 279 in the first game. And let me see here. Is make sure I got that's Tyler Close, correct? Yeah. Who did well in the sweeper last night. Very good player. And there's a 278.
With the surge of college bowling in the Iowa area / Chicago / all up in this neck of the woods with Mount Mercy,
St. Ambrose.
and St. Ambrose, the 11thframe.com Open, along with the Greater Iowa Bowling Association major tournaments, the Ebonite tournaments, they've really become miniature college singles events with some crafty veterans sprinkled in and some local flavor.
Yes. Helped retire me when I said I
mean, Dave Dentlinger, I call him Dinosaur Dave in these events because compared to everybody else, you know, he's a fossil.
Yep. He still throws it fantastic.
Oh, I love Dave.
I think next year he'll be 50, I believe, and be able to take a shot at the some of the PBA Senior Tour events. So I'll be interested to see how he does there. Okay, and if you're looking for a little lefty action coming up, Kevin Magnuson will be up. Or did he already finish this? No, he's up on, I was blocked, my view was blocked. Up on lane 7. He struck there, left side, that's looking good. 226 if he finishes off this 10th frame. Now the tough thing is, once these guys hit the lanes, the lane man is, you know, anything they did, the players determine what happens.
Yeah, they're the ones that manipulate it, no question.
And while we have a 278 from Tyler, we have a lot of much lower games as well here. We'll see it. Eric and I were talking, and Bob, and the consensus prediction was somewhere in the range of maybe 30 or 40 over to make the cut. We'll see how close we got here.
30 or 40 over is what you were thinking?
Yep. Which would be closer to what it was 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, depending how you look at it. The last 2 years, it's been more in the range of 80 or 90 over to make the cut, which isn't that high, but yet I give credit to the players. They want them hard. The guys that bowl in this tournament and bowl in Joe's other majors, they do not want them easy. They like, I mean, Kegel does his patterns for his majors, and those under makes the cut in a lot of those, and that's what the players like, and I like that. There was a generation there where it wasn't quite like that, and the last I don't know, 20 years or so, it's really flipped around where your college players and young players, they do not want them soft for the most part. They want to be challenged.
This was looking at some scores that were bowled here in this game here, 223, 214, got a possible 259.
225 for Kevin on the left side there, Kevin Magnuson.
Still getting everything dialed in here, everybody. It takes me a little bit, especially with these built-in scoreboards.
Good to see. We have a few ladies bowling. Jasmine Snell, Brooke Green. I know a couple that we've had bowl in the past. Aaron McCarthy has bowled it in that, but the PWBA Tour is in its final week of competition for the season. They're bowling in the PWBA Tour Championship week. Today is the Pepsi Open final day. Their step ladder will be, I think, 5 o'clock Central Time on Bowl TV, and then the Tour Championship is Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday is a Bowl TV and Bowling TV simulcast.
It's good to see Dave Ryan on the call over on Bowl TV.
Yeah, we had our Wisconsin or Madison Hall of Fame dinner Thursday night, so I had to watch that show. Got up at 3:30 for work on Friday morning and watched that show while I was working. I started a little extra early, so I did my duties. Worked at home that day so I could have a side computer to watch that show.
Go over here real quick. What's the scores look like? I see Josh Kennedy out there.
Yep. Really solid player, and he cashed the sweeper last night and high up. And he's looking like, well, he had a bigger game going. Now he's got a potential 222, split in the 8th.
First time ever being plus. That's not very good.
Kevin Magnuson is quite a character. He's got a YouTube, like so many people these days, has a YouTube page, and posts some very hilarious content on there. He bowled one of our Madison area scratch tour tournaments last year and posted a little something where I think he was kind of trying to be funny and caused a little bit of a kerfluffle. And he didn't mean anything bad by it, and I kind of helped smooth that over and had a chat with him, had a chat with the masked folks, and his heart's in the right place, and talented young left-hander for sure. One of Eric's bowlers at St. Ambrose, so part of the championship team this year.
I think it's safe to just say he's a goof.
Yeah, there you go. You said that.
He's a goof.
I pick he messages me all the time, and I pick on him brutally about left-handers and that. So, my favorite of all time is I think Del Ballard might have been the first one to create the IHL, I Hate Lefties Club. I think he was back when I was on tour.
I think he was the founder.
Yep. But Kevin is a sharp young guy, throws it good. He's a right-hander's worst nightmare. He's a left-hander with talent and a little bit of brains.
A little bit of brains.
That's why I said little. And when you got Eric as a coach, just like you said, St. Ambrose has Eric, Mount Mercy has
Andy
Dirks, and Cassidy Corey, correct? Isn't it Cassidy?
Yeah,
yep.
I believe so, yeah.
And boy, just the amount of knowledge that you can accrue bowling for people like that is pretty amazing. Josh Kennedy up in the 10th frame. He throws the ball so nice. So I got one for you, Mike, that we were talking about, and no one seemed to have the answer. Eric didn't know the answer, which blew me away. So the PBA, and I like this, for the second straight year this year, they gave 3 players exemptions for the tour, priority status, based on the college points.
Yeah.
And that was how Brandon Bonta got on tour last year and ended up being one of the best players on tour and probably going to be Rookie of the Year, although it's definitely a hell of a competition with four rookies winning titles. But anyway, this points list, they're using it again next year. And let me see, Carter Street, Bryce Oliver, and I apologize, I can't remember who the third was. I wrote that a couple weeks ago or a week ago. But anyway, I said, Eric, where is this points list? How can we follow this? I said, I've never seen this points list linked to or posted anywhere. And he said he didn't know. So, and I haven't had a chance to, pester Tom Clark or anything. It just came up last night. It was the first time I really thought of it. And so if someone knows where this points list is out there, drop a help@11thframe.com email or put it in the chat here and Mike can flag it. I'm just curious because then I would like to follow that next bowling season, next college season, which starts, mid-October usually? College bowling season starts. I would like to follow that points list and I assume they've used it 2 years in a row, and obviously PBA changes a lot. But they've used it 2 years in a row. If they use it again, then it will be huge to see who's up there in those 3 spots, because that's life-changing. When you think what Brandon Bonta got off of that points list, he didn't have to PTQ.
Yeah.
So a lot of obviously he won the first tournament, but so maybe it wouldn't have ended up mattering. But the principle is that not having to PTQ, maybe if he had to PTQ, he wouldn't even have gone out. Like Alex Horton didn't go out to start last year until he saw how good Brandon did. And if Brandon hadn't gone out, then Alex wouldn't have seen him winning, and maybe he wouldn't have gone out. And you would have taken 2 of the brightest young players in the PBA in recent years would not have been out there.
Correct.
Very interesting to think. And that's one of the, you can say what you want about all the PBA changes, and everyone has their opinion. I don't think there's anyone that would say that's a bad one. I like that idea. They're bowling over an entire season, accruing points somehow, and the names that have advanced there, I think the proof's in the pudding. And these guys that are going out there this year from the points, you can't argue. I think Bryce Oliver's already got a regional title. And I'm not sure. Carter Street, I think, might have one too, or came close to winning one. I apologize that I can't remember who the third one is off the top of my head. I bet you're waiting, like many people, to see what the PBA schedule will look like, huh? Kind of determine what you might be doing next year.
Yeah, I typically sign up for the national tour events. Try to make 80 to 90% of those when I'm asked, so which is a great honor, and I appreciate the opportunity over there with Bowl TV. So you don't really see much inside bowling live streaming January through May, except Joe's event, which I've missed a couple times because of scheduling conflicts. And then my inside bowling broadcasts start to ramp up mid-summer, and I'm right in the heart of it right now. We started in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Yeah, you're a maniac. You are everywhere.
Right now I am. I don't know why I am, but I am. Yeah, so we went to Hot Springs, and then I went to Lakeview Lanes in Sun City, Arizona for the Desert Heat doubles. Then I went to Cape Girardeau for the Missouri USBC Masters in Queens. And then I was in Moncks Corner, South Carolina for the Ironman last weekend, which just about killed me. And then I'm here this weekend, which should be a walk in the park once we're up and running. And then next week is the Springfield doubles at Enterprise Park Lanes down in Springfield. Then we go to New Mexico Open at Mike Fagan's place, 10 pins and more in Albuquerque. Then I actually have a weekend off, and then Ebonite Fall Classic, and then I'm off for a month.
Well, I got a room reserved at the Isle Waterloo. I'm gonna come for the Fall Classic, hang out a little and see some people, and then you're doing the Agent Ong Open?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be, by coincidence, that's our annual debauchery weekend in Vegas where we just sit in the sports book all weekend and play craps basically with a group of people who've been doing that since like 2001 or something like that, or groups expanded quite a bit. So I think Susie and I are going out Wednesday and coming home Tuesday, so I might jump in a Uber or cab and sneak down to South Point. We're staying at Paris, Las Vegas for that 6 days and shoot down there and see a few people. Carl had messaged me. He was originally a few years ago trying to get me to bowl, and I said, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
I don't even want to compete in senior events that are more than a few games in one day.
Hey everybody, if you'd like to support what we do here at Inside Bowling, you can always save 15% with coupon code YouTube. That's year-round off all the apparel that we have. We have a lot of different things. We have t-shirts, hoodies, outerwear, hats, you name it. But we just introduced something that a lot of people have been wanting to get this week. It's a new offering from us. It's dry fit t-shirts. So that's all I wear anymore is dry fits, and we were able to test for the last 3 months. We brought in multiple different dry fits, and we landed on one that we like a lot. Really good color variety, really good quality. And those are on the site, just launched this week for $27. But our deal of the week right now, you can get them for just $19 over at InsideBowling.com. We've actually sold a couple hundred of these things already since last Wednesday. So if you'd like to take advantage of this great promotion, you can over at Inside Bowling. Dry Fit Tees, it's up in the nav bar. Click on Dry Fit Tees, and you can pick some of these up. And again, you can always save 15% off the rest of your apparel order with our coupon code there, which is YouTube. This is quite a bit different than what it was when you and I first sat down in a booth together, maybe in St. Louis or something in 2010, isn't it?
That was a great tournament, too. I made the cut there, and that was Wood Lanes, and you had like 37 mils of oil or something back then, which was incredible, but with Wood Lanes, it was necessary.
Yeah, and Guardian.
Yep, and Guardian, that's right.
Yeah.
And for me, the one thing I'll always remember about that is, well, one, I was in position to make a run at things and gas faced after making the cut, a bad ending game in one of the rounds. But I crossed with Kyle Sherman when he was 15.
I thought he was 13.
Yeah, because it was 2010, wasn't it? Or was it 2009?
Yeah.
2010, I think. And that was the first time I had sort of peripherally knew his dad from occasional tournaments and that. But that was the first time I'd ever seen Kyle bowl. And I was like, whoa, this kid's pretty good, you know, and I didn't know how old he was. And I was super impressed, and you just sit there and you think, man alive, how things have gone. He's like a old veteran on tour now and the TV announcer, and it's just something. It just tells you how old we all are.
Actually, he was 15, yeah.
Yep.
15.
Yep. And in fact, I remember that was a weekend, I think there were tornadoes that weekend in St. Louis.
My Mazda 6 got hail damage and was totaled in the parking lot.
Yep, because Doug Buer had a big party that weekend on Saturday, and I will never forget, I stayed inside, but he had a bonfire going with a plastic, thing over the top of it, not a tent, but a plastic thing. And we're sitting inside looking out the window, and a bunch of them are sitting out there under the fire drinking beer. The fire is roaring, and the plastic thing was smoking like crazy. It didn't start on fire because it was just pouring rain. Oh, it was a wild weekend. I'll never forget that.
Real quick, lanes 1 and 2, 3 and 4, we've had Jacob Goss come over, Gossi, Nathan Beekman, Jake Harrison, Jeffrey Stevens on the right side there, Jake Bedard, Quentin Bolin, Jason Mesher, and Jace Meyer. Yeah, man, the reason why I stopped doing the IB Open is because tournaments just got filled up, and there were a bunch of them again. PWBA Tour didn't exist when we had the the IB Open. You know, there were a lot of college tournaments weren't as long. There weren't as many programs. The regional tour was kind of suffering at the time. And, you know, so that's why we ran the event. And then all these things started popping up, and bowling kind of started getting back to being healthy, so we kind of went away. But if there is an elimination of regional events, you know, and if there does become a hole again, you know, I might be interested in running a few more tournaments. See what happens.
Well, I think there will be potentially will be a big opportunity. Doesn't have to be you, but for people to possibly put on PBA senior regional type events if, and we don't know this, if there aren't senior regionals next year. We don't know that yet. I caution people. The PBA is going to run regional events, but they didn't specify whether those would include PBA senior regionals, and no one has said. They might not even know. This whole situation, I think, has been very fluid as it's developed with what the PBA is doing next year. And there is going to be, the elite regionals are in the fall, and then there's going to be regionals. I guess playing is the best way to put it. Regionals in the first whatever months of the year. And I think that if there aren't PBA senior regionals there is going to be a senior tour. But in the tours not on, there will definitely be the opportunity for somebody to run regional type events, whether it's you or there's so many tournament operators that you kind of laid the template for people to what could be done. And now there's just so many tournaments. I mean, in my day, we had little local stuff and we had PBA regionals, and you know, that was pretty much it. Or if you weren't a PBA member, you had high rollers and stuff like that. But all this stuff that exists now, I mean, as many as there are, you know, you're going to New Mexico in a couple weeks for a big one. And when did that start? That started in it was 2000 something, I believe.
Yeah, Mackey, it's getting up there in the amount of years.
It was one of the first ones as well. You know, and the Lucy's a PBA event now and PWB event, but it wasn't when it started, and that was also right around the turn of the century. And that was another one of the pioneer big events. But you know, there's just so much of this. All these big doubles events.
Yep.
Springfield, Missouri has that one that's been going for quite a while. And
Nightmare doubles.
Yep.
Yep. Got scores in after game number one. Tyler Close leads. We watched him bowl 278. Nathan Beekman is second. He bowled 245. Jason Mesher had 242. Peyton Nabick had 234. Wyatt Honecker had 232. We move our eyes down to 21st position, 22nd area there. Those are the players that are plus.
And for those people concerned with the left-right, if I recall, Peyton in fourth, left-handed. Derek Lewandowski, who's right in front of us here on 5 and 6, left-handed. Kevin Magnuson, left-handed. So what we can't know is how, I mean, their side's going to be what it is and not change a whole lot. What we can't know is what's going to become of the right side. But as of the first game, that 16th to 18th, 9 plus 9 plus 6 plus 5, you know, you can't really extrapolate totally, but I wouldn't say that looking at that, we're not going to probably be in a 90 over situation.
52 on the squad. Again, 22 of them are plus.
And we do have, I checked with Joe before this squad started, A squad is full, obviously. B squad is full. And there are 2 spots open on C squad. And if the first priority goes to people who have not bowled on A and B squad, so if you happen to be out there and you're not far away and you're like, oh, heck, I want to come bowl, you've got time to get here. And then if there are, 2 spots, 3 spots, whatever, 1 spot open, it will be of people who bowled and want to re-enter. It will be a lottery. They just ask whoever wants it. Jennifer does a random number generator that every name has a number tied to it, and that's who will get to bowl. Now, my feeling should be that we should auction it off, and the extra above the entry fee goes to Jeff so he can go play craps.
That's a good idea.
And we'll see if we can run it up and put it in the prize fund. Just kidding. So before I head out to do my writing here, I wanted to know, would you like me to try to track down the leader after, we won't do it for C squad obviously because they're going to be right in here with open bowling and that, but A squad and B squad, the squad leader to come in and sit for a couple minutes at the end of the squad, or is that too much?
Probably not.
Okay.
Because we've got a pretty quick short turnaround.
Right.
I do want to grab a bite to eat between squads, but I mean, if that person is sticking around and, you know, just isn't leaving the bowl for the day.
Okay.
You know, if
drop in on the next squad.
Yeah, if they are leaving to go eat, then they're going to come back and watch some bowling later.
Okay.
You know, they can just, I would love for them to drop in and then
Makes
we can
sense.
talk to them during qualifying. But yeah, no, I think I am going to try to, you know, sign off right at the end of these blocks. Now, C squad's a different story.
Yeah, that's not
because I want to get a cut score.
Okay.
I'll stick around late on that one, provided they don't turn all the lights out on me. If we're running late, as soon as they are done bowling this place, I remember calling a cut number with Cosmic Bowling on in front of me.
Yep.
And it gets really dark in here.
The one thing we won't have this year is the slot card drawings that I run every year. That was my sponsor money.
Okay.
I increased my sponsor money this year, and it went into the prize fund because, of course, if you read what I wrote, what Joe said in his emails, the Greater Dubuque Convention and Visitors Bureau, whatever their exact name is, they have an interesting new rule that they adopted that if you've gotten money in the last year, you're not eligible to get funds this year. So they're basically putting their funds into trying to get new events, which I find to be kind of weird in that if you then were to lose events you already had, and I don't know that that would make much sense, but that's basically, it's kind of like the telecom company that gives a discount to new customers and you've been with them for 20 years and you can't get a discount. So, so I guess it's only once every 3 years that you can get funds. So again, next year we wouldn't have funds, but then apparently 2 years from now we would be able to apply and Joe could get money again, which is, you know, they've been great supporters of the tournament because we bring a lot of people to town. And now this year they're not in. So Joe put a little more money in. We increased the entry fee $10, and I put my money into the prize fund instead of to the slot cards for non-cashers. So so we won't have all that drawing going on tonight. So it'll be a little easier on Jennifer and myself. But so I don't know if we get the Visitors Bureau money back in 2 years, we'll have this like extra influx. So I don't know, do we pay? Joe and I haven't even thought about that. And
I was just thinking it myself that if you get it like every other year, you should just chop it and put half in 1 year.
I don't know that they would allow that, but yeah, it would be every third year is what apparently what their new rule is. So if we got money every third year, I don't think we could split it 3 ways. It would be neat if they could.
Well, the other thing you could do is you could use their money that year.
Oh, yeah.
You don't put in your money that year, and Joe doesn't add anything that year. You guys then get
double it up. Yeah, you're right. That's cool.
Yeah, there's creative accounting in there.
So I'm putting in $500 this year. If we didn't do it the 1 year, then I could put $750 2 years in a row in, and that would help boost those funds a little bit.
And hey, everybody, if you're not subscribed to 11thframe.com, you should head over to 11thframe.com and subscribe. It's basically the athletic for bowling. That's what I call it.
Yeah, there you go. And hopefully I'm going to have more time here soon to focus on 11thframe.com's story. Might be, I turned 64, retirement is not too far off, and I'll have more to say about that someday here. And when it happens, I am be down from 2 full-time jobs, as I say, to 1 full-time job and a lot more time to pursue. I have a list of feature story ideas that require a lot of hours and work, and I'm looking forward to chasing some of those down. Really good stuff that, not to be too bragging or anything, but some stuff that, I can do that I don't think anybody else can do that covers bowling on a regular basis. I got some sources, some ideas, some really good stuff, and can't wait to do it. Some of it's features stuff, but a couple are huge news stories that will shake things up in an interesting way, I think. And I really look forward to having the time to chase some of those down. I see, watching here, Evan, is it Flath or Flath right in front of us on 5 and 6?
Yeah.
He's two-hander, great game, and he is way in already. More in than anyone was at the end of 5 games last night in the sweeper, which is fascinating to me, which definitely says what Eric said. He saw more hook, less hold, which is definitely, I think, going to lead to lower scores. And it just, I sit there and I look at that amount of oil out there and see how much the ball hooks. Mine sure didn't, but then I've got a 250 rev rate one-handed, and these guys got a 500-plus rev rate two-handed. It's just they play a completely different game than I do, that's for sure. Now there's Derek. He's at 96 in the 8th. Struggling on this pair. He had 230 or 240 the first game. The pair-to-pair here can be, like any bowling center, can definitely be tricky. And I think historically their topography here for a second-story building, they did a heck of a job putting these lanes together. Because when I originally heard that this was going to be a two on the second story of the Diamond Joe Casino building, I was like, oh boy. That's a scary thought, but they did a great job, Brunswick, in installing these lanes.
I love YouTube. I love our channel. I love our network. I love that we're 110,000 plus strong. And I love some of these comments here in the chat. Danny Boy here, Mr. Danny Boy, says, typical announcers like to hear themselves talk. Well, Danny, if this is your first visit here, which it sounds like it probably is. During qualifying, this is more of a podcast radio show that reports in on what's happening. We put the standings on the screen. We discuss some lane play, but we're not going to go over every bowler's shot critique and complete bios on every player. It's just impossible. But if you want to join us tomorrow when we start getting down to some cut scores, and if you want to watch the step ladder tomorrow around 4 in the afternoon, it'll be a completely different show. So maybe you should just leave, and we'll see you tomorrow when you don't have your typical announcers liking to hear themselves talk, Danny Boy.
Hey, I think we're providing some pretty good quality context to this tournament. What the lanes are, who designed the pattern. I mean, there's not a lot of fluff here.
At this point, I just don't even give a shit anymore. Danny Boy. Danny Boy, go fly a kite this afternoon or go do something fun, because obviously you need to have some fun in your life. And sorry, whatever you're going through right now.
And usually, I like have seen many live streams over the years where, say, they just turn it on and there's no talking. It's like, I don't even know what's going on, and have seen people complain about that. So, like you said, it's qualifying. I don't mind at all when I tune in and you and whoever it might be, Randy's there, and tell some stories. It's like the second game of A Squad.
Yeah, I'm just happy everything's working. Yeah. What about the 4K? What about the 4K on your screen? You got an OLED at home there, Danny Boy? You got yourself a 85-incher? Or are you still watching with your rabbit ears thing with some sort of dongle associated with a red and white and yellow cable analog?
Oh boy.
Oh.
Well, he'll be happy here, because I gotta go write a couple stories. I'm way behind in that, thanks to my workplace having a few issues this morning, and they left early. I brought in our Brewers story and did a few things, because That was a late game last night, and boy, Yamamoto, he owns the Brewers, I'm telling you.
Yamamoto is pretty awesome.
God dang, he smoked them in the playoffs last year. Not that shutting down the Brewers lineup these days is that much to brag about. I also brought in a feature story that we have Reuters as one of our services we subscribe to, and it was a Milwaukee Journal Sentinel story going over the numbers of William Contreras and Christian Yelich in the last month. Oh man, it is. I think Contreras is 4 for his last 43, and it's ugly. I think the Cubs they beat the Cardinals yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, 3-0.
Yeah, they're within 3 games now, but tonight the Miz is pitching tonight on Fox at 6:15 against the Dodgers. So I'm going to be, hopefully they'll have it up on the screen here. You got Dodger highlights right here. The Brewers had a shot at him. They had, Diaz almost gave it up again. They had the bases loaded in the 9th. That's the only Dodgers Achilles heel is they don't have a closer. Now Danny can complain there. We're not talking any closer.
Now, Danny boy here about the listening to the announcers talk to one another here. I have over the last during this 9-week bender that I'm on here every weekend. During qualifying, when I'm there by myself, you do hear a lot more silence. I have been really pacing myself and saving myself for the second day of the event or the final day of the event. And case in point, the Ironman tournament, I didn't talk a ton through qualifying. I was there. I still communicated. But it was about the least amount that I ever talked. But I'm going to tell you, when it got to be 10, 11 o'clock at night and I streamed until 2 a.m., I was bringing it. I mean, I had more energy. I was bringing it down the stretch.
That's just psychotic.
But it was only because I saved myself. If I'd have blown everything I had, by the time we would have got to the finals, I wouldn't have been able to do the bowlers justice. I was singing during qualifying, Gray. There was I took Islands in the Stream by Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton, and I turned it into This is the Iron Man Stream.
I don't know how. I mean, you live streamed almost until I got up for work.
Yeah.
Which is just insanity.
I mean, imagine getting to the bowl at 7:15, and you leave at 3 in the morning.
No thanks.
So yeah, Danny boy, when you fire at me and I'm in the middle of this bender, I'm going to fire right back. You go get your own stream and let's go see how you do at a tournament there, Danny boy.
And it's Peyton Abach finishing up here. He's going to go 233 if he finishes off the 10th here.
There's one common thing that I'm seeing that equals success here. Medium to softer ball speed.
Yeah, that was definitely. I mean, if I was plus last night, that ball speed wasn't a necessity because I don't have any.
Like even Peyton here, big tall guy. You see how far left he is? He's using a big asymmetrical ball that's not got polish on it. It's got some sort of surface on it. And he is just slow rolling it up the outside. And he probably didn't quite catch all of that one, but it is a hit it for all it's worth. Throw it into the lane. Don't throw it up into the lane. Throw it into the lane. Get it rolling early, and you can get into the pocket. But this is the part in the tournament, games 3, 4, 5, is you're going to, when you go pair to pair, although most people are using surface out, they should transition kind of nice here. I think they're attacking in the correct way. But you will start to see the pattern stretch a little bit. And you'll start to see the 2-pin combinations come into play for the right-handers and the 3-pin combinations for the left-handers like we just saw there out of Peyton and as we see over on lane 4 right now.
Well, that's a couple good left-handed games there. 245, 218. interesting. Derek Lewandowski there. He had 230 or 40 the first game. He finished with a 3-bagger in the 9th and 10th to salvage 150. I wonder what's up with. Be curious for you to follow other left-handers on 5 and 6 during the day and what's up with that pair. Now I guess, did they skip a pair the first game? He may have started on 1 and 2, which historically hooks way more than any other pair in the house. So perhaps that was the situation. He got a read off of an anomaly pair and perhaps didn't know, or the anomaly pair here.
Skip procedure, skip 1, skip 2, skip 1, skip 2,
so he came off 1 and 2, and I'll guarantee you when he went to 5 and 6, if it's following the historic pattern, that 5 and 6 was a whole lot tighter than 1 and 2.
Victor Cortez Jr. just had 269 here. Jasmine Snell had 231. It's pretty good bowling. See, Magnuson can finish with 185. Now only 175. And on Magnuson's pair was, looked like Wyatt Honecker had 215. Tyler Close had 176, and it's possible 220 for Keaton Vieri.
So Tyler went 270, 170.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, we got 2 games done. I'm going to go finish off these 2 stories, and I will do my best to see, if not the leader, hopefully the leader. I will have a word with them before they leave and say, hey, if you're hanging out on B Squad, come sit with Mike for a little. And
yeah, they can just come on by. I mean, we got plenty of time. We got 3.5 hours a block here, so yeah, I'll be good. I fixed my audio issue that was in my headset. I have no idea what it was, but now we're good there. I still have to hook up a booth cam. I still got to get my wireless camera hooked up. So I've got plenty of housekeeping things that I need to be doing around here as well. But looks like we're up and streaming. Everything's working good. We're in 4K here at Cherry Lanes. We didn't have internet when we left last night, but we had internet when we walked through the door this morning, thanks to Bob Hochran.
Good job, Bob.
Saving
the day.
I was a little worried about that. He's been super slammed this last week with not only doing things here at the center, but he's also very involved with the Field of Dreams game that was right up the road.
Oh. Did he give you his whole rundown of that?
No.
He told me the whole story of, he knows a bunch of the people, etc. He, grew up with them and that. He's a Dubuque guy, and Field of Dreams is 20 miles from here. He got to work security for the Major League game there. And so talk about meeting, saying hi to Fergie Jenkins, who he'd met 20 years ago at a Cub game or something, and just all this stuff, and then seeing the players. And they had him stationed out in the cornfield.
Okay.
For security. And if he comes and sits in at all, have him tell you that story. It'll probably make Danny angry, but it's a heck of a story that'll be entertaining to most of the people on there. And now that I'm going to leave, you should go radio silent here for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Then he can
that way Danny can say, typical bowling stream, nobody's ever talking.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Danny, by the way, I really don't give a crap about the haters out there, but I just thought yours was so hilarious here this morning, especially with all that I have to do in the morning. You hit me with that about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, it's just going to gloss right over. But when you get me early in the morning like that, you know what I mean? It's kind of like when somebody brings you your food and it's got everything that you would possibly want. I mean, everything. You've got a nice dessert. You've got everything you need, and just everything is perfect. And then all of a sudden, that person says, well, the salad dressing was just a little bland. What's up, Matty?
Look at that guy. Former champ. That's the other former champion.
I think I said his name.
Did you? Okay.
I did. I noticed the Gasson, and I said Mills.
Andy's on the squad. Gasson.
Somebody else is on this squad that I missed.
I don't see. Oh, Adam Morse.
Okay, Adam Morse is on the squad.
Yep.
Okay.
He was in front.
That's the one I missed.
And Matt is well ahead for the weekend because he wasn't here last night to play craps when the table was just brutal. So he's well ahead for the weekend. So he should be smiling, no matter how he bowls.
I like T. Brown says, I would rather listen to Mike talk than listen to some boring play-by-play during qualifying. Boy, ain't that the truth.
I don't know how you do play-by-play during qualifying.
You just, yeah, I've done it before when people asked for it, and it's the most annoying thing you've ever seen or heard in your life.
I mean, if it's one squad and you're coming down to the, last game, and even C squad tonight, when you're following the cut number, you can be way more focused on it. But we don't have any context of. I mean, we're trying to provide the context of what might happen, but it's 1 or 2 games in. What do you.
Yeah.
Guy shoots 278. Oh, he's going to win the tournament. Oh, 176.
The funniest thing ever is I was streaming on Bowl TV at Ron Moore's event, and it was me, Tom Hess, and Craig Elliott, I think, in the booth. And somebody typed into the chat, said, can't you guys call the bowling? Okay? And I said, okay, guys, let's honestly, let's call the bowling. Okay, I said, let's do this. So I said, Tom, you get this pair. Craig, you get this pair. And I'll call this pair. Okay? And we don't have to get out of each other's way. We're just all going to talk. Okay? We're all going to call this bowling. And it was, honestly, I got to go back and find it, like screen grab. Like
good.
It was the absolute funniest thing because we're all trying to keep back from laughing. We are literally calling out everything. I mean, it's like, and Dave Barris, that's a strike. He threw it about the 13th board, got it out to about the 8th board down lane, walked right into the pocket, using a little bit of surface. Now over to Matt Gasson. Matt Gasson stepping up on the approach. Standing about 20 right now with his feet. He's going ahead. He's got his hand in the ball. Looks like he's got his ball set up right now. He's got a little knee bend, and he's going to start his approach now. Left, right, left, right, left. Follow through. Got it over the 3rd arrow, out to about the 7th board, and leaves the 4-pin. Comes in a little bit high. Now let's go over to Chad Moss. Chad Moss, Eagle winner on the left lane. High 5 gear jersey. DV8 is his sponsor. He's got his foot up on the ball return right now. He's looking around a little bit, killing a little bit of time, talking to Matt Gasson. Just wiped his brow, standing there right now. A little bit of a bald spot for him in there. You might want to get yourself one of those red caps. All right, there he is now. All of a sudden, he's waiting. Is he going to go? And it looks like he's going to step up on the approach. He just touched his shoe. Now he's standing there up on the approach. He's going to wait for the player on lane 3, who I don't know off the top of my head right now. Jake Bedard is up on lane 3. Let's call this right now. He's sliding at about 18, got it out to about 7 at the arrows. Boom, 10 back. Back over to Moss over on lane 1. Here he is, a little knee bend, flexing the legs. Left, right, left, right, left. Follow through. Just hit it right over 11. Holds into the pocket and a strike. Went ahead and wiped his brow. He's still wiping his brow on the way back. Over to Gasson on lane 2. Here's Gasson standing up on the approach. He's about ready to go right here. Going to shoot this 4-pin. Should give it a little cutter, as Bo Burton would say. A little bit of right to left. And look at that arm swing right at it. And he takes out the 4-pin. That is calling bowling.
And with that, I'm going to go do some writing.
I mean, can I do that? Can I do that all day? No.
Oh, yeah, we'd have like 0 viewers then, I think.
I would
or
quit.
They would all have it on mute. Oh, I'm going to watch one shot by Andy here.
Old Andy Mills.
Yep. Oh, look at, he's already at 15.
Yeah. He didn't give it any room. Goes Brooklyn.
That's playing the gutter when Andy's playing.
Is he
15.
running marathons? Because he's lost some weight.
Yeah, no, he's looking pretty good.
He's skinnier than ever.
He moved from lacrosse, before I go here. For those who don't know, Andy, past champion of the tournament, right? Didn't he win one year? Yeah, so we got actually four on this squad. Anyway, Andy moved from lacrosse to the Milwaukee area, lives in Oak Creek. So he's down there with Barris and Moss and Gazin and all those guys. Same company, but he got the job transfer, promotion, however you want to term it. So he's a Milwaukee guy instead of lacrosse now. So, but still bowling with Nick Heilman's group for nationals. So that's a good pair to watch there.
It is, yeah. Dave Barris used to be exempt on tour.
Power of cheese pair there.
Yep, Barris has won the Ebonite Winter and Fall Classic, formerly the Fusions. He's won those twice. Not many players have won them twice. He's got 2 wins. Andy needs to move a little right. I think he's too deep.
15 is his gutter, though, so.
Yeah, that's true.
It is.
I know.
Not kidding. All right, we'll be back later.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
See you later.
All right, see you later. That's Jeff Riggles, everybody, from the 11thframe.com. our man behind the tournament. Throws money at it. Throw money at him. Subscribe to his blog. Check out 11thframe.com. Glad you're with us this morning. Mike here flying solo now that Jeff has left. Looks like everything seems to be cruising along and working okay. We should have a Game 2 update here in just a moment. Remember to follow that link I have pinned in the chat room with your event info. Everything is there for you for the rest of the weekend. I want to welcome in all 250 viewers. This is another opportunity to thank those great sponsors that we have. Don't forget, you can always head over to GIBA-bowling.com to sign up for the great events up here in the Greater Iowa Bowling Association. There are 3 majors, the Ebonite Winter and Fall Classics, along with this one here, the 11thframe.com Open. We want to thank our bowling sponsor, Ebonite. Remember, Ebonite is bowl to win, makers of great bowling products. When you're considering your next bowling ball purchase, check out Ebonite, a brand from the family of Brunswick brands. Also want to thank the Diamond Joe Casino, Cherry Lanes for contributing to free lineage this weekend, giving it right back to the bowlers, Brandon Steen and the Steen team. Also want to thank IAMBowling, our jersey sponsor, Kwik Star Quick Trip, our Convenience Mart sponsor, and the 11thframe.com. The GIBA was established in 1969, by the way. 4 tournament directors over the years, 55 years of existence. Dale Diamond from 1969 to 1988, Dirk Wheat from 1988 to 1998, Dave Janisic from 1988 to 1999, then Joe Engelkiss, who bowled all these events. There was a little bit of a troublesome time, and they thought they might have to go away, so Joe stepped up in 1999, has been running tournaments for 27 years. He began assisting with the GIBA tournaments in 1978, became the assistant administrator in the late 80s, and officially took over as the tournament administrator in 1999. Joe's family, Rosie, Jennifer, and Greg, has also been helping since the early 1990s. And I'll tell you what, Joe Engelkiss, I know he's the front man, and the Fam Bam's great, but if it wasn't for them, there wouldn't bowling wouldn't be as healthy and as live as it is in the great state of Iowa. Also, a little bit about the GIBA points. We have a point system in which every bowler is awarded points based on each event, bowled and their finish in that event. At the end of the season, the individual with the most points receive a paid entry into the USBC Masters. Last season, in addition to the Master spot, thanks to our generous sponsorship from Ebonite and IAMBowling, the GIBA gave out 18 bowling ball certificates and handed out 30 certificates from IAMBowling to the top 30 bowlers on the points list. And it looks like we have standings coming in after 2 games. Let's see what that looks like. All right. We will look at them together for the first time. Feels like the first time. Not one of my favorite songs, but it is a classic. Chad Moss, look at that. He happens to be on lanes 1 and 2. Chad Moss, 92 over, 492. Victor Cortez Jr., after that big 260 game, is now at 75 over, followed by Jackson Satterley at 68 over. Nathan Beekman is 4th at plus 63. Tristan Albrecht, 5th at plus 59. Jace Meyer, 6th at plus 56. 7th is Tyler Close at plus 54, followed by Peyton Nabick in 8th at plus 52. Wyatt Honecker is 9th at plus 47, and 10th, Ryan Schottmer at plus 46. Right now on this squad, there are 21 players that have bowled 200 score or better through 2 games. That is Keaton Bieri and Justin Petrie at plus 1. There are 52 players on the squad. As I said, 21 are plus. If you'd like to check out and see how your favorite bowler is doing, you can use the comment that I have pinned in the chat. It says tournament results. Cruise back over here, lanes 1 through 4. While we were talking through all of our stuff here, I did not introduce the players on lanes 3 and 4. I'd like to do that now. Letter A is Kayla Devine. Letter B is Madison Ninneman. Letter C is Jim Schroeder, and letter D is Alyssa Pearson. But your tournament leader right now is Chad Moss. And he is getting ready to bowl on lane 2. Also a big fan of inside bowling. He is always so pleasant and so nice.
I meant to give you that one.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Chad Moss bowled 217, 275. Victor Cortez Jr. had 206, 269. Jackson Satterley had 279 the second game after 189 the first game. Some individual score highlights for you guys. Jennifer just hooked me up with those, which is much appreciated. All right, let's see what's happening in the chatter room. GIBA does a great job. Congrats to Joe and crew on keeping it going to a high level. I agree. Hello to Millie watching at home. Hope you're doing well. Haven't seen you in a long time, Millie. It seems like forever. And look who's in the chat. Zach, the Zach attack. Zach Wilkins. Zach, you overseas or something? You got something going on while you're not here? Chappie's bowling later today, I think. He was on the schedule. I put him on the thumbnail. I thought this thumbnail turned out great. What do you guys think? Look at that beautiful man. PBA champion. Right there. Look at that guy. Wow. That ball's just never going to hook Andy Mills. You're going to have to get a little right there, bud. Watch Andy throw it to spare, and then I want to show his first shot again. I want you to see when you go left to right, if you miss right, what the bowling ball does. Like, check this out. Matt Gasson's trying to get a read. Now watch this ball. As it gets to the right, watch, it's just going to be pushed again. It just keeps pushing right, and it just never, ever, 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 ever has a chance of hooking. Someone just got a 2 count on lane 6. Yeah, they probably did. Oh, hey, Sean Shelby Sweeney, watching from Australia. Great to have you here with us. I love it when we have international folks watching. You know, the International used to be the name of the hotel in Las Vegas where Elvis Presley took the stage. I could go for a little love me tender right now. My feelings are hurt this morning. Danny boy hurt my feelings. Live from the lanes again this weekend. It's the 11thframe.com Open A Squad qualifying. Those of you that are already here, thanks for being here. Those of you that aren't here, well, you're a loser. Everybody that's not watching this tournament right now are losers. How's it feel to be a winner, everybody? Isn't it great to be here winning? It's funny. What's up, man?
How are you?
How you doing, brother?
Hanging in there.
Yeah?
Been rough the last couple of weeks. Had a stroke.
Oh, you did?
Blood clot, yeah.
Holy shit.
So I'm a little slow.
Okay.
Can't write very well, but I'm going moving around fine. But
Okay.
pretty scary.
I'm glad you're all right.
All right.
Okay.
See ya.
You too.
Make sure to say hi. Give my daughter a shot in the ass.
Okay. Eric Pearson coming by. I didn't know that he had a stroke. Says he's doing okay, but big health scare for Eric Pearson. Those of you that may know Eric, he did the lanes for USBC for in his career. Also think he did some work for Kegel. I'm not sure on that one. And then also I spent some time working with Eric out on the road on the PBA Tour, as he was a PBA lane man for the PBA Tour. So wasn't aware that he had some health issues, but just came by and said hello. It was good to see him. And oh, tripped that 2-pin. That's that built-in angle. That's that built-in angle. Love a little built-in angle. So when I use the term built-in angle, what I mean by that is if you can play the furthest to the right possible, throwing it at the strike pocket, your ball is traveling from the right to the head pin to the left. So what happens is it's called built-in angle, and you need angle to go through the pins. So if you're going right to left, you already have angle. It's impossible to not have angle into the pins. Those that have the ball traveling left to right don't have built-in angle. They have to have angle once their ball goes to the right. For a right-hander coming off the end of the pattern, they have to build in their own angle because it's got to travel right and then come left. When you have built-in angle, it's just going left from the very beginning. And I want to show you a perfect example of that. And your pin carry is always better when you have built-in angle. Always better. See this built-in angle? That ball is constantly going left. Barely hit the head pin and good things happen. That's what I'm talking about. You got Andy in the middle of the lane here. Worked out. But with his rev rate, I don't know how much he likes playing the gutter. I don't think he does at all, but I would love to see him playing up around like 7. It's a good shot. Jim Schroeder with a little spare strike, spare double. That looks really good. Let's see how Jim Schroeder has done so far here today. 173, 239. So has found something here. Games 2 and 3. Got 6 games for you here this morning. Got started at 9 o'clock with practice. Practice lasted 10 minutes. Took us to 9:10. Right now it is 10:38. Actually, we're in game 3. Why didn't I? Now that, if you want to get mad at me about, you can get mad at me about that. Swapping out the graphics. We're well along in the game number 3. So we'll be done with this game here in about 10 minutes. That will put us at 10:48. So that will be about an hour and 40 minutes for 3 games. So another hour 40 from there puts us at 11. It's about 12:20. We start back up again at 1. Should be pretty perfect. We'll be running really close to being on time. That's one thing. The lanes are really hard, but at the same time, these players are up and ready to bowl. Very conscious of pace in play. Once again, if you missed our oil pattern, here it is. It's a 46 feet in length pattern, almost 40 mils on Brunswick Pro Lane. Very slick. Very, very slick oil pattern. And it's a 1.25 to 1 on the left, a 1.34 to 1 on the right. That's your pattern. Good shot there, Andy. Threading the needle in the middle of the lane now. Solid 9 for Gasson. Thank you very much. Gasson doesn't bowl too many events anymore, but I think he keeps coming back to this one every year. He likes this one. For me and for a lot of the bowlers, I feel like this kind of kicks off the winter season. I was talking to my buddy Mike last night. He just started his Friday night league in St. Louis last night, first night of league. It is truly back to league time of year. Back to school starts next week for many kids out there. Any kids that are watching, enjoy your school year coming up. Cherish those times in school. I know sometimes it can be a grind being, whether you're in grade school, maybe junior high, middle school, whatever they call that, or high school, or maybe even college. Enjoy those years. Trust me, as you get older, you'll look back and you'll miss the years that you're living in right now. So try to enjoy it as much as possible. Chad leaves 7-10 and the 9th on a pretty good shot there. But as I was saying, this feels like kind of the kickoff event for the 2026-2027 Winter League schedule, fall leagues, whatever you want to call them. This is kind of what gets things going. I always think of the 11th frame as that. Thought that pin might have bounced out. It wanted to. I'm going to invert the stream for a second. I'm going to go over here to 5 through 8. Just take a look and see how scores are coming in here. Pretty low scoring on 5 and 6. 7 and 8, we still got a 237 left up there and a 227. And I'm still developing and making a few things around here, so I don't have a picture-in-picture built for 9 through 12, but I do want to check in on the scores before I go back over to our featured pairs here. Looks like we had 147, 233, 269, and 224. So let's try to figure that out real quick. Following along with my decoder pin here. Let's see. All right, so that's the Jace Meyer pair. So that means over on this pair, Lewandowski was A, bowled 147. Jackson Satterley was letter B, bowled 233. Evan Floth is letter C, bowled 224, and Adam Morse bowled 269. So there you go. Thank you to tournament staff for giving me the information so that I can call that out. It's always kind of difficult calling a tournament where it's A, B, C, and D and such. So it's always appreciated when I can get some extra help on that. that actually looks a little better. There we go. Matt Gasson had 200. Andy Mills can strike out for 158. Dave Barris can bowl 222. And Chad Moss can bowl 207. Dave does get the double in the 10th. And our pair over here on 3 and 4 is a little bit further behind. Folks, I'm going to step away for just a second. I'm going to go check in with the tournament office, make sure everything's going well there. And I will return with game number 4 here in just a moment. You're watching the 2026 11th Frame.com Open A Squad qualifying here on Inside Bowling on YouTube.
skip? How do we skip? How do we skip?
All right, everybody, back with you here. Game 3 just finishing up. I am going to bounce out of here for a second and look at some other scores that we have going on here. 120, 160, 180, 140, 150, 220, 190, 180. And Quentin Boland had 187. Jake Bedard finishing up here can still bowl, well, he's got to make the spare, 174. It's 233 for Jay Smyer, and Jason Mesher finishing up here can bowl 259. Mesher was 8 over coming into this game. Is it explicitly 2-lane courtesy, or are bowlers naturally doing it? I think here it's 1 lane, but as long as the pace doesn't slow down, if they want to do 2, they can. Pace has been pretty good. Take about another hour and 40 minutes. Be done at probably about 12:30. That 1 o'clock squad might start a little bit later than. All right, let's move into game 4. All right, got Chris Clancy. My man, Corey Cavins, one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Always says hello to me, always spends a little bit of time, loves bowling. Mike Bruning and Will Foss on this pair. 3 and 4. James Slavens, Cameron Brundage, Mike McClure, Justin Petrie. Bottom right of your screen, you see more of the same familiar dudes. Good to see you. Mills and Gasson and Moss and Barris and Allison Pearson, Kayla Devine. They'll be on the bottom right of your screen for a bit. Corey Cavens. My man. How's Corey bowling today? How's he doing after 2? This guy loves him some bowling. Good shot, man. Good shot. Way to get started. Let's see. Cavens. .191, 171 his first 2 games. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see. Del Powell says, I heard you guys mention my favorite show as a kid, so I had to do it. I have no idea what he's talking about. Oh boy. Let's see. How is the pattern looking? Thank you. Scores are already in after 3. This is a beautiful. Yeah, it helps me. Oh, yeah, just drop it. Just drop it. All right, folks. I got a game 3 update, I think, coming in. Let's just double check. Make sure I got it. Yep, it's there. That's some quick turnaround on these scores. That needs to be highlighted and mentioned. All right. Definitely needs to be mentioned. This tournament staff is amazing. All right, here we go. Victor Cortez Jr. after that big 260 game. Bowled 206, 269, 258 is first. Peyton Nabick is second with 234, 218, and 255. Jackson Satterley went 189, 279, and 233. He sits at 101 over. Then you've got Nathan Beekman, 245, 218, 227. Jace Meyer with 228, 228, 233. Sits at 89 over, along with Chad Moss, 217, 275, 197. Ryan Schottmer with 224, 222, and 224. Right now, 670. Jason Mesher, 242, 166, 258 is a plus 66. You've got Morse and Close round out your top 10. We've got 22 players plus. That's pretty much held true throughout this one. And we got 52 players on the squad. That is your score update for game 3. I am going to bounce over to lanes 5 through 8. You also see lanes 9 through 12 on the bottom right of your screen in our picture-in-picture. So we're watching Kayla Devine, Madison Ninneman, Alyssa Pearson, and Jim Schroeder, right side of your screen. I mentioned the other guys that are on lanes 5 and 6 a bit ago. Then over bottom right, you got Isaac Goodman, Roger Harford, Phil Brayback, Stephen Habel, along with Nathan Beekman, Jacob Gossi, Jake Harrison, and Jeffrey Stevens. You are watching the 11thframe.com Open right here on YouTube. Inside Bowling is our channel. If you have not subscribed and you like to watch bowling, this is a good channel to subscribe to. We put some bowling out there once in a while for you to watch. So if you'd like to subscribe, we'd appreciate that. We're 110,000, I think, subscribers. Let's actually go take a look. I don't really ask for subscribers anymore, but I'm gonna ask now. Let's see, how many do we have? It's been a while since I looked. Our subscriber count is, oh wow, 111,001. Somebody recently subscribed to the channel and brought us to 111,001. I would call that pretty neato. 11,001. Inside Bowling. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? Pretty cool though. And we got quite a community here. You guys are fantastic. I got people hitting me up today, talking to me about what they're talking about on Bowl TV right now, thinking I'm in the booth. I don't even know how that's possible. But hey, that's okay. Whatever. Smash that sub button. Smash it. Hey, if you're into chatting right now, tell me where you're watching from. Hit me up with that loke. Hit me with that loke. Let me know where you are. Oh, we're growing now. We're up to 111,004 subscribers. I'm looking forward to when we have 111,111. That'll be in exactly 107 more subscribers. We'll get there before the end of the weekend, I'm sure. Imagine if I was in both streams. That would be pretty wild. If I was being brought in to stream Bowl TV remotely, and I was streaming this one here on site, that would be. I don't know how I would do that, but I would be more than happy to try to do that. Dave Barris, this is a clinic on how to play the lanes. Right up 9, little flat 10, but right around the pocket, spare triple. Matt Gasson with a little 4-7-10. I will never forget when Matt Gasson made the finals of the InsideBowling.com Open, and Bo Burton talked up Matt Gasson so much. Talked about how he throws a cutter at his spares. Like, honestly, like, if I was a bowler, that would be it. I was on a broadcast where Bo Burton was calling the action and watching me bowl. Like, that's sick. I mean, that is sick. I'm gonna find you guys this stream. I mean, this thing was, unreal. I gotta find it. Inside Bowling Open. Let's see what we got here. This is it right here. 2016, 10 years ago. InsideBowling.com Open Finals. That broadcast had Rob Gottschall was the 5 seed. Cameron Doyle was the 4 seed. The 3 seed was Dave Wadka. The 2 seed was Matt Gasson. And George Gohagen was the number 1 seed. Man, Gohagen dominated those IB Opens. My God, did that guy bowl good in those tournaments. He bowled awesome. We did some pretty cool stuff 10 years ago, I must say. All right, I gotta get back to the present. I gotta totally escape the old there. If you ever have time and you're bored, and I'm not streaming or something else not to watch bowling related, go watch the 2016 InsideBowling.com Open Finals with Bo Burton on the call with Dave Lamont. It was unreal because Wadka was working for Ebonite. Gottschall was working for Ebonite. Gottschall had just signed Doyle. I think Gasson might have already been working for Ebonite at the time as well. It was sponsored, you know, Ebonite was involved in the event. Like, oh my gosh, it was wild. It was just like an Ebonite fest at the time. And that's when Ebonite was kind of struggling with their bowling balls. Like, they were kind of getting ran over. And that was when they were starting to kind of surge back as EBI. That's kind of like the very beginning of Team EBI in that. And that tournament, man, they really bowled good. What was funny in that event when it comes to like tournament sponsorships and bowling ball manufacturer, I call them bowling ball manufacturer wars, and I don't truly mean that, but there's definitely some competitive juices when it comes to the bowling ball companies. It was the Storm InsideBowling.com Open, and Bill O'Neill won. And then when it was the Ebonite InsideBowling.com Open, or Ebonite was a sponsor, Kyle Troop won throwing Storm. It's just always kind of funny how that works out sometimes. But watching from Minneapolis, up north, Birmingham, Alabama. Morning watching from Colombia, South America. Thank you. Colombia's got a big bowling following. A lot of bowlers in Colombia. All right, 1 Gatorade in. 3 games in. We're in game 4. You're watching the 2026 11th Frame.com Open, put on by the Greater Iowa Bowling Association. My name is Mike Flanagan. And I do want to let you guys know again about our little promo here. We had a dry fit tease this week. I don't know about you guys. We have some great t-shirts that everybody buys and loves. So really high quality 60/40 cotton poly blend t-shirt. Everybody's favorite, super soft. We sell a bunch of them, but we just added, for those of you that are looking for that moisture wicking technology in t-shirt apparel, much like you see from the major brands such as Under Armour, Nike, Adidas. We have been testing dry fit shirts from our suppliers, and I personally was wearing different ones, trying to figure out which one would be the best. And through a lot of research and putting logos on them and washing them multiple times, what product would be great to bring to all of you? They are finally here. It's a bit of a soft launch. We've just got the small logos, left chest, and all of the brands, a lot of cool, vibrant colors. I am not kidding you when I tell you this. Our director of apparel, quality control at InsideBowling.com called me yesterday when these shirts arrived, the first batch of shirts arrived, and described these shirts as gorgeous. Gorgeous. These shirts are gorgeous, I was told. And that's very high praise from our director of apparel at Inside Bowling. So check them out. You will not be disappointed with these. These are your ultimate league bowling shirt and practice shirt. You will not get hot in these bad boys. You will not. But everybody in the bowl will think you're hot. Let's say you rate yourself in the looks department, and let's say you're like a solid 7. Those dry fit tees, those are worth 1.5 points. You're going to walk into the bowl, and they're going to be like, wow, what did that person do to look that much better? They're going to be like, you losing weight? You know, you go into the tanning bed? What is it that you're doing? And they won't even know that it just happens to be the shirt that you're wearing. It's your shirt is what takes you from the 7 to an 8.5. And to those of you that are already like a 9, which most of our audience is, can you imagine going past the 10 mark? Like, that's impossible, but not when you have one of these shirts. You can get to 10.5. Telling you. Mark my words. There's also a rumor that these shirts get you an extra hit a game. At 10 pin you normally leave, these shirts will get rid of one of them for you and make it a strike. Andy Mills just placed an order while he's bowling. God knows he needs an extra hit a game. Love you, Andy. Let's see, game 4, no Macho Man, kind of disappointing. One shirt brand to rule them all, yeah. Ordered 3 already. Thanks, Brad. I've got at least one number while wearing an IP shirt. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Up here in heaven watching the 11thframe.com open. Macho Madness. It's a little early for my Macho Man today. Got a pretty long day of bowling here in front of us. We're gonna be calling it. We're gonna be calling lots of action for you all day long. Got a little 9 a.m. squad that got started. We got a 1 p.m. squad coming up today. And then we've got 5 p.m. squad. I anticipate these squads starting about 15 after. 15 after. I think we're at 15-minute pushback. Just one man's opinion. Putting out a lot of oil on the lanes. Got to oil 26 lanes. Got to get organized. Wow. 2 off the right. Watch this shot again. That's just going a little right, too much surface. And there you go. That's how you get 2. How do you do? All right, Jim, let's spare it up here, bud. By the way, you guys want to do a deep dive into something that has nothing to do with bowling, that most of you are just going to be completely lost on what I'm talking about here. But to the small percentage of you that get this and understand this, you are going to think this is hilarious. Okay? All right. to those of you that don't know, I like a lot of different things. Like, I don't know what it is. I just like I like a lot of different things. And I'm a very loyal I'm loyal to those that I just enjoy following. And one of those people is a poker player named Daniel Negreanu. I've been following Daniel for a long, long time. Back to the Chris Moneymaker years, and even a little bit before that, I've been paying attention to Negreanu. Obviously, there's Doyle Brunson, Todd Brunson, Annie Duke, all those people. They had high-stakes poker. All that stuff was going on. But Negreanu, when I watched his vlogs when he first started doing it, all the way up till now, Dean Eggs and I see the world in a very similar way. There's Dave Barris with 3 off the right. Congratulations, Dave. Congrats, buddy. They're just going to get tighter and tighter down lane. That oil's just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing. Andy Mills playing 5th arrow. Totally unnecessary, but watch this. Prove me wrong. I just did, Flanagan. Anyway, I love Dean Eggs. I love Daniel Negreanu, and he just cracks me up. I mean, just his sense of humor is just dry, but it's funny. And so 2 years ago, I think, somebody wrote a song about him and put it on Spotify. And it's the most ridiculous song you've ever heard in your life. It goes, Daniel Negreanu, the man, the myth, the legend. Okay? And it's just like this Irish folk song. Says it over and over again. And then does like, A-negs in the air, or A-negs over there with their hands in the air. And that's Amanda Negreanu, A-negs. They're about to have their first child, by the way. They've got they're having a, what do you call that? Someone else is having their child, but it's their stuff. So anyway, so that's going on. And anyway, I just love Negreanu. So I've been talking about this for a while now. I need to get to it. So this year on his vlogs, he's Canadian, and he was talking about this song that's called Out for a Rip. Out for a Rip is the name of this song, okay? And it's by it's by this group called Shark Tank, okay? And it basically talks about how Canadians are just, they go out for a rip. And he's singing this song, and all these other poker players are singing it with them, and they're all getting into it, and they're all laughing their asses off. It's so funny. Out for a rip. And I didn't know what out for a rip was. And out for a rip essentially means you're hanging out with people, and then you're like, hey, you want to go for a rip? You want to go for a rip? And they're like, oh yeah, I'll go for a rip. Let's go for a rip, right? And they use the F word in there too, but I'm not going to say that right now on the air. So anyway, yeah, let's go out for a rip. And it means you're just going to get in the car, and the person that asks is bringing the snacks and the beverages, and you're just going to go out driving around. It's going out for a rip. Want to go for a rip? Well, I found it hysterical. And I have incorporated it into my... Okay, hold on. We had something weird happen here. We'll get back to this. Out for a rip. Don't let me forget. Out for a rip. And I know you guys are like, Flanagan, just because you find this to be funny, it does not mean that this is funny. But I think it really is. It's so funny to me. All right, let's take a look at this blower 5-pin. Off to the right. Dave Barris. Oh, solid 8. Good place for it, though, Dave. Nice game, 226. Watch this on the right. That 5-pin. Pulverizing. Wow. Okay, back to live action. Anyway, this thing just cracks me up. Out for a rip, going for a rip. Hey, you going for a rip? And I've incorporated into all the people that are in my inner circle, my tight inner circle. And they're kind of getting tired of it. But, you know, like that bowling ball right there was out for a rip. Never came back. Went out for a rip. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to incorporate this going out for a rip thing. And to those of you that might be watching right now that follow me over on the PBA tour on Bowl TV, my goal is, if I'm still working on that network next year, I get asked back, which I think I will. I hope so. Whenever I'm interviewing a Canadian, I'm going to hit them with, hey, you bowled so well today. You want to go for a rip? That's what I'm thinking. So I think I'm going to do. And then they're going to look at me like, how do you know about this? I know we had Wilkins in the chat a little while ago, so he won't be shocked by it. But I really kind of want to get this trending in bowling because there are some great Canadian bowlers right now. Right now, Canadians are thriving on tour. I kind of want to keep that rolling with this whole going for a rip. So you're going to be hearing that from me when it comes to the Canadians. Go for a rip. So anybody else find that interesting or go back to bowling, Mike? Don't forget the bud. That's my favorite part, is I love saying the word bud. You want to go for a rip, bud? Oh, boy. I watched G-Neg's vlog for the World Series of Poker. They ran that out for a rip thing into the ground that night. Boy, they sure did. You want to go for a rip, bud? Go out for a rip. Anyway, you got to listen to the song, everybody. It's hysterical. It's called Go For a Rip by Shark Tank. I cannot play it here. It talks about how nice Canadians are, and then it drops the F word like 73 times in the song. As a matter of fact, I might be able to actually tell you how many times it says it. I'm gonna find the lyrics, and then I'm gonna do a Control F. 25 times in the song, it drops the F word. But it's hilarious when they do. It's so funny. All right, that's enough for out for a rip. Hey, bud. That's a good idea, too. Use it on the opposite side of the spectrum. Had a bad league night or a tournament? Go out for a rip, bud. Go out for a rip. You won't go out for a rip. We're taking 48 to tomorrow, by the way. 48 will bowl in what is called the Flanagan format. And I'll explain that to you. I was talking with Riggs when he had this event, and we were talking about ways to make it a little bit different than some others. You know, formats are all kind of the same. And I said, well, if you're looking for a different type of format, there's one that works really good in summer leagues, because they're shorter format. And if you get a bunch of bowlers in the summer league, I thought that 2-pin was going to trip forward. She should have got that. But, you know, when the shorter format, you can't bowl everybody the same amount of time. Strength of schedule comes into play. So we designed a format back in 1990, wow, 5? In a summer league where you bowl against the entire field, and the high game in the field got bonus pins. So if you had a 50-person field, the high game got 50 bonus, and if you bowled the low game, you get 1 pin bonus. And I said, I thought it would always be cool if you made a cut, you have the pins carry over. That way there's no reset. You know, every pin matters. But then on Sunday, you have everybody bowl, you know, like 10 or 12 games. And then the high game, based off of how many you take, gets that many bonus pins. So in this particular case, it's 48. So if you bowl the high game in the building, you know, let's say you bowl 279, well, you add 48 to it. And then the lower games, you know, only get 1 bonus pin. So the better you bowl, the more you can climb on Sunday. So it gives you an accelerator. And Jeff decided to use it, and it's still being used. And they call it the Flanagan format. Now, I don't know if I'm the real founder of it. I don't know any other tournaments that really use this format, or that had used that format until then, but I used it in summer leagues when running bowling centers, and it was awesome. It's a little extra work, but Jeff has used it here. So because I came up with it, Jeff gave me the accolade or the credit, and so it is called the Flanagan format. So it's kind of cool to be streaming an event that's using an idea or concept that I threw at Jeff, and you know, it's all about Jeff and Joe deciding to want to use it and make it work. But you know, that's just true collaboration at its finest. Train 3 dudes. I streamed this event and ran the event the first year in 2011. Matt McNeil was the champion. And then, actually 12, that was 12, my bad. 2013, there wasn't an event because I moved to Utah. We didn't end up running one, and then Joe, Rosie, and Jennifer took it over. It became a GIBA event, and partnered with Jeff, and they've been running it since 2014. There was, they've had it every year since then, right? 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Did not skip for COVID. This is one of the rare events that actually still bowled, or was able to bowl, and didn't skip a year. Can you guys believe that COVID was 6 years ago? Kind of wild. Time flies. Time flies. Really does. Cherish every day you got. We're reminded of that over and over again in all of our surroundings. All right, let's move over to 1, 2, 3, and 4 for game number 5. These guys started in this area and now made their way through the entire bowling center. We are, of course, talking about Kevin Magnuson here, bowling with Wyatt Honecker, Tyler Close, and Keaton Bieri to the right, Marcus Borgen, Alec Bowman, Chao Vang, and Ader Ziong. Bottom right of your screen, you got Thomas Cutforth, Jay Scadell, Josh Kennedy, J.R. Stubbs, Corey Cavens, Chris Clancy, Mike Bruning, and Will Foss. We'll have a game 4 update for you here in not too much longer. Feeling good here today. Loving the Wyatt jersey, by the way, with the Pac-Man stuff on the back. I don't know if he just likes Pac-Man or if he likes Packy Hanrahan, or if it has nothing to do with anything else other than that. But pretty cool jersey nonetheless. This is also the time of the event where I actually should probably do a little extra credit here and get a few other things set up. So if you hear me moving around while I'm up here, that's what I'm doing. I'm never fully set up at the beginning anymore. There's too much to do. I can't do it. So I'm going to work on what we call a booth cam. Try to work on that. take one of these cameras out for a rip, bud. Go out for a rip. Going out for a rip sounds good right now, doesn't it? Also, I'm going to throw this out there. Does anybody in the chat play Gran Turismo? Anybody play GT7? If you do, and you'd like to play with me, that's like one of the best games to be able to play with a bunch of people, because you can fit like 20 cars in a room. If you play GT7 and wanna hook up and play, hit me up. Hit me up, Mike at InsideBowling.com, if you're interested in playing some GT7. I got a pretty good little group that we play with. It's competitive, but it's not cutthroat or anything like that. We just have a good time. Have a little party going on there and have some fun. So if you'd like to play some video games, well, GT7, hit me up. Hit me up. We can go for a rip. We can go for a rip. Literally go for a rip on that game together. Break some bread, like brothers or sisters too, if you like to play the game. We do not discriminate. Let's see what else happening in the chat here. Minnesota here, cheering on all the Minnesota folks. Mike, go on Comedy Central. You missed your calling. I know. I am really one hilarious SOB, aren't I? Let's see. What else we got going on here? Control F, how many times does Flanagan say out for a rip? Just listen to out for a rip. Loved it, Mike. Take care, Sean Shelby Sweeney. There's no doubt that Jennifer's format spreadsheet is the only thing that makes it work. Mike, tell me something I don't know. He's a gamer. Out for a rip, are we, bud? Yeah. F yeah, bud. Do more iRacing. Yeah, I'm not into that yet. Forza Horizon's my jam. Yeah, I should look into that too. Some Canadians going to really randomly show up in this stream and be really confused. I don't think so. I think they'll feel right at home. They're going for a rip, bud. Wyatt Honecker, let's see if he can go for a rip right here. Oh, yeah, bud. Out for a rip. I'm going to get this thing trending again. Out for a rip. scores are coming in. Get those for you here in just a second. All right, let's get this going for you. Take my computer out for a rip. Get you guys these scores. Let's take a look-see. After 4 games, Nathan Beekman, 245, 218, 227, 230 gives him a 230 average. He's at 920 for his 4 games, which puts him 120 over. Jace Meyer in second is 103 over, followed by Victor Cortez Jr. at 93 over. Chad Moss in fourth at 90 over. Fifth is Peyton Navick at plus 89. Then you got Wyatt Honecker in sixth at plus 83. Ryan Schottmer at plus 82 is seventh. Jackson Satterley eighth at plus 69. Adam Morse is ninth at plus 67. 10th, Josh Kennedy at plus 64. We have 19 players that are plus out of the 52 bowling. I have a link pinned in the chat room if you would like to continue to see how everybody's bowling. It's available for you in that chat room. Am I a Bills fan? No, not a Bills fan. I just like the NFL. I'd like to see them do well though. Any update on holiday doubles? Haven't heard much lately. There's a lot going on with holiday doubles. I'll have an update soon. Who's leading? I just went over that. All right. Let's see. Put that there. Put that there. Continue to work on my other camera here. taking 48 in this event. So if you take 16 a squad and it's perfect squad equity, which, you know, isn't necessarily the case, usually doesn't work out that way, but, you know, it's a good way for us to project right now. 31 over for 4. You're looking at about, you know, 45 or so projected cut number. 45 over. It's pretty good as far as, you know, being challenging, but not impossible. Not impossible. Hard, but not impossible. Doesn't cater to certain styles. At least not yet. TBD. $192, $193, $189, $196 possible. I'm going to bounce around here a little bit. Go over and see what we got shaking here a little bit further behind. Pretty good one right there. You can just tell, posted it. Nice shot there. And let's go over and check out 9 through 12. I actually need to build in a picture on this one. I hadn't done that yet. Let's do that now. Let's see. It's number 4. It goes with that. Get that for you. Andy Mills. He's a little 2-pin. You got Mills, Gasson, Moss, and Barris over on 11 and 12. And then Cameron Brundage, James Slavens, Mike McClure, and Justin Petrie there on lanes 9 and 10. And I got my booth cam working. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Down here, bottom left. In case you don't see that on the screen, you got to move all the way to the bottom left. Bottom left. Bottom left. That's it. I think it looks all right. I'm looking good today. I could use a little time in the tanning booth. I need to figure out how I can tan and be on the air at the same time. Got some folks behind me. Got my tripod right behind me. That's covering lanes 5 through 8. I sit right behind 6 and 7. Get it? 6, 7. That's where I'm sitting. Yeah. So good to see everybody out there today. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. All right, so that's working. Cool. Just keep hooking stuff up. Why not? Pick them up. Mike, are you a rubber ball who keeps bouncing around? That's me. Good morning, Darren. I'd like to welcome in all of our viewers here this morning. This event would not be possible without our great sponsors. We'd like to thank Ebonite, the Diamond Joe Casino, Cherry Lanes, Brandon Steen and the Steen team, IAMBowling, Kwik Star Kwik Trip, and the 11thframe.com. One more to play after this one. Then we'll be back a little after 1 with your B squad. Gasson can still bowl 246 here on the right side of your screen. That'll be the high game on that pair. .214 still left for Justin Petrie. Not anymore after that that leave. Actually, Petrie can get to 204. It's Slavens that can also get to 204. 200 games, hard to come by here. Yeah, talking about the Buffalo Bills there, about the new stadium. Some people complaining about the seating. Yeah, I saw that as well online. Matty Gasson gonna be in the 240s here. .246. Definitely got to have a ball in your hand doing the right thing. Sometimes you see players throw it about the same spot as another player, and their ball just goes forward the whole way, never hooks, never sees it. Other players can get it to go through the pins. So this is one of those where equipment does really help, especially big ASIMs, big asymmetrical core bowling balls with some surface on them. You almost got to have it in your hand to get it to go through it the right way. And that's a good one. Not a lot of room for miss. Not many people are going to have an opportunity to re-enter this event either, if any. So you either got it or you don't. 6 games. Chad Moss has got it going on. He's got a nice tournament. He's 4th right now overall. Bowls 191 in game number 5. It's time for us to push along to game number 6. Do that now. We've got Ryan and Jordan Schottmer, Peyton Navik, and Tristan Albrecht. And to the right of them, we got Brooke Green is letter A, letter B is Mike Allen, letter C is Victor Cortez Jr., and letter D is Jasmine Snell. That will conclude our day here. Well, our opening round of our day. It'll be a third of the way over. Steve Taylor letting us know that the train is not moving on 5th Street to get to the casino. Might delay things. I hit a train this morning also. Could cause a delay, no doubt about that. Makes me think of the Rocky movie. There's no easy way out. There's no shortcut home. There's no easy way out. Giving in can be wrong. Victor is very good. I agree. Victor Vector. didn't realize a NASCAR race was today, huh? Are the scores unreadable, or is that just on my end? Well, I can tell you that I don't have lane talk scoring here in this building, and that I'm trying to display the scores as best as possible based off of what I have here. The scoreboards are... Here's what I'm working with. Here's what I got. I can't zoom in anymore because then it'll cut off the approach. So I have to basically build this, thank you. I have to build this, you know, as best as I can, which is using a zoom in feature. So this is where we arrive, is right here. You have to tell me if that's readable. In the meantime, I do have updated scores. We will take a look and we will share together. Come on, people now. Brother, brother, everybody get together. Take a look at Ryan Schottmer at the top of the leaderboard. Tied with Jace Meyer, 139 over. Followed by Nathan Beekman at 135 over. Then Victor Cortez Jr. is fourth at 131 over. Fifth is Jason Mesher at plus 89. Then you got Chad Moss in sixth now at plus 81. Wyatt Honecker in seventh at plus 76, followed by Peyton Nabick at plus 72. Jackson Satterley ninth at plus 61. 10th is Jim Schroeder at plus 59. We have 20 players plus out of 52 in the field. And we're going to cut 48 for tomorrow. So if you take 16th right now as 27 over, that number went down after game 4. So now I would say a projected cut score is somewhere around 30, but it's small sample size. But there are your standings. Our leader, Ryan Schottmer, has gone 222, 224, 224, 212, and 257. What's happening, Jerry? Jerry Mars here in the house. right, all the graphics are built for later today, which is always a good thing. You guys kind of sometimes wonder, what's Mike doing there? What's he doing? Well, I got to build graphics. Got a lot of different stuff to do around here. But we're doing good. We're doing real good, actually. Better than normal. Cherry Lanes. What a beautiful place this is. Bob Hochran, general manager. He's been the general manager since the place opened. Every one of these 11thframe.com open tournaments, Bob Hochran has been at the helm. Good dude. Mike, any football games on your screen? Not yet. No, Plastic Assassin, I know it wasn't a shot. I was just answering the question. I'm starting to get I get a little spoiled with the lane talk stuff nowadays. All right, everybody, finishing up game number 6 here on lanes 3 and 4. I'm actually going to move. I'm going to move over to here. Finishing up here. Just looking for some higher scores if there are any here. Looks like maybe this is a good place to finish. I'll be back with your second squad today. A little after 1. Takes a little while to get things, get the lanes oiled in that. Well, it's been fun this morning going for a rip with y'all. Make sure you support the sponsors that support this event. Josh Kennedy. You get to 218 this game. Kennedy is 18 over coming into this game. So this is a monster punch out here for 218. Get him to plus 36. I think this 30 number is actually going to be pretty good. I think if you can get to 30. It's a good number. I mean, it gets you in the cut, and then tomorrow anything can happen in 12 games with all the bonus pins. Josh, I'm sure, would like to have more than 30-something over, but based off of how they're playing and overall scoring pace, it's pretty good. Mike Bruning. Where was he at in the standings? At 212. Yeah, he was down too far. I want to see if that 212 made a difference on his cut, on his potential of making the cut. Open frame there. Jasmine looking to bowl 173. Victor Cortez is on the pair, he's letter C, bowled 198. Cortez was in 4th, so he's okay. Jasmine was 41 under, not going to have enough to make the cut, I don't think. And there's Bob out there getting ready to oil some lanes, which means it's time for me to get out of here. This is going to be the end of your A squad qualifying. I'll be back with B squad just after 1 o'clock, back here from the 11thframe.com Open. My name is Mike Flanagan. Thanks for tuning in here today. I want to thank Jeff Riggles for joining me here in the booth for a while. Remember, all the information on these events can be found at giba-bowling.com.
34 the last game, 173 over. Looks like the leader. I didn't see what
Okay.
shot Meyer had the last game. But
Okay.
the other two guys that were in the top 4 did not.
Okay.
Jason Meyer, 173.
Jeff letting me know that
Depending on what shot per shot. He was done before I started walking.
who got the 230? Jace Meyer bowled 234.
34 the last game, so he's 173.
173 over is probably your leader. I want to thank Diamond Joe Casino, Cherry Lanes, Ebonite. I want to thank Brandon Steen, the Steen team, IAMBowling, Quick Star, Quick Trip, and the 11thframe.com. So for everybody here in Dubuque, Iowa, my name is Mike Flanagan. I'll see you shortly here, 30 to 45 minutes with our next stream. It's already scheduled on our YouTube channel. B Squad qualifying, be there or be square. See you later, everybody.